What is up, everybody? Welcome back to RacingDudes.com, and welcome back to another one of our Kentucky Derby updates. Well, we got a lot to talk about as far as what happened last week, so we'll do that. Not much to talk about what's going to happen this weekend, so we'll keep that one short. All right, let's review the Lecomte. That's the first thing we got to talk about because it was a Kentucky Derby prep race. And look, I think Track Phantom, the winner of the race, obviously, you look at it and you go, well, he kind of just did the same thing he did in the Gun Runner, and nobody could beat him. And you look at what Track Phantom is kind of building there at Fair Grounds, and I'm not saying he's going to be as good as Epicenter, but he's very similar to Epicenter in what he did a couple of years ago on this trail. Now, the biggest thing was Epicenter took a big step up in the Louisiana Derby and really kind of said, hey, he didn't say it, obviously, but he looked like that's the horse. Like he made a big kind of leap there. We'll see if Track Phantom can do it. He's looked awfully good. He's getting better with each race. So Track Phantom really good in that race. As far as what's behind him, I don't think it's much. Nash was second. I thought Nash would run better than that. I do think Nash ran a little bit better than he did in the Gun Runner, but I don't know if he's not a router, I should say, and a sprinter. I don't know if maybe he hates fairgrounds. I don't know if maybe he's just not that good. It's one of the three because he just kind of spun his wheels again. You kind of looked at in the stretch and you're like, okay, he's kind of trying to make a run. And then it's just like, he just kind of fell apart. So I took Nash out of my top 20. I don't really know what he is. I still don't think he's awful, but I think Track Phantom has proven he is the superior horse to this point. So Track Phantom, I really love him out of that race. Everybody else, not so much. And I think the waters will get deeper for Track Phantom in the Risen Star. We'll talk about that later when it's here and we know the actual field. But for now, he is definitely the king of the fairgrounds. All right, now let's talk about two maiden winners that we really got to highlight here. That may have been more impressive than Track Phantom, honestly. Let's start at Fairgrounds. Let's just keep it right there, and let's talk about Hall of Fame. So Hall of Fame for Steve Asmussen was in a maiden special weight at the Fairgrounds, and boy, was it something. Kind of rallied up the rail, just kind of dominates, wins by over 10 lengths, looked amazing. This was after running second on debut at Churchill, and pretty solid race. He stepped up in a big way. A faster time than the Lecomte, a higher buyer. The Lecomte got a 90 buyer for Track Phantom. Hall of Fame was assigned a 94 buyer. So, a little bit better performance, at least by the time of the race. Now, again, it's just a maiden. And you had a horse in Track Phantom who was able to win a stakes race for the second straight time. So big difference there in what class each horse was facing. But Hall of Fame steps up in a big way. This colt is by Gun Runner out of a Giants Causeway mare. The sky could be the limit for Hall of Fame. You better keep an eye out on him. And guess what? Track Phantom and Hall of Fame will go head-to-head in the Risen Star. At least that's the plan as of now. So keep an eye on Hall of Fame. Also, you better keep an eye out at Santa Anita on Maymun. Maymun, a debuter for Bob Baffert. I thought this was the most impressive performance of the weekend. He also received a 94 buyer. I thought he did it about as easy as you could do it. Really, really impressive. Now, his race was only a one-turn race, so, stretching out and all this stuff, we'll have to see with Maymun. Maybe he's better as a sprinter. Who knows? But his talent level looked extremely high. This is a colt by Frosted out of an Indian Charlie mare. So, again, you think about Gun Runner out of a Giants Causeway mare. Well, Hall of Fame, from a pedigree standpoint, no doubter, right? Going to stretch out. Maymun, you think he's going to stretch out, but there maybe is a little bit of question about 1.25 miles at least. So we'll see, but I doubt it. I think he's going to be awfully good for a while here. This is going to be really interesting to see what happens with Maymun. He looked awesome in this race, so we'll see how it goes. All right, now let's get to the next big thing. My Kentucky Derby top 5, not that it's a big deal, but 3 of the 5 horses in my Kentucky Derby top 5 are trained by Bob Baffert. Now, if you have not heard, horses that are going to run in the Kentucky Derby or be eligible to run in the Kentucky Derby, I should say, must leave Bob Baffert's barn by January 29th. So that's 7 days away. So you're talking about Muth, Maymun, Nisos. Those are the 3 horses that I have in my current top 5. If they don't transfer by the 29th, we have no idea. I mean, we'll take them off the list. Like, they're gone, right? I mean, this is crazy. And so where do they transfer? Is it Tim Yakteen again? Are we going to go through that whole thing? next week is going to be a massive week because that deadline is coming up. And then we've got 4 preps next week as well on February. What is that? The 3rd or the 4th? I can't remember what day that Saturday is on. February 3rd. So next week is the first real pivotal thing on the Kentucky Derby trail. We've had some fun, but that's going to be a pivotal kind of week. So it's something to keep an eye on. Now, quickly for the rankings here, number 5, Muth. I think he is the most established, consistent Bob Baffert runner. You know what he's going to do. He's very, very, he's just very kind of the same every time, very consistent. Him and Track Phantom are really kind of the same type of horse at this point right now. But I've got Track Phantom ranked a little higher because Muth is 5. And we just don't know what's going to happen with the training situation. And it is a big deal. So Muth at number 5. For me, Maymun at number 4. I love the talent level he showed. I thought he was very, very good. And just for reference, I have Hall of Fame at number 7. So that kind of shows you I was really impressed with both of them. A little bit more impressed with Maymun. But again, where will he go? I'm not quite sure. Will he go? I'm not quite sure. We'll know that answer next week as I record this. Number 3, Track Phantom. I've kind of said it. He's just super, super consistent. He seems to be getting better. He's following that Epicenter kind of path. Can he make those jumps like Epicenter did? If he can, he's going to be tough. I got him at number 3. And we've seen Steve Asmussen do this down at Fair Grounds here the last few years. He just used that circuit very, very well leading up to the big one. Number 2, Nisos for me. Another Bob Baffert runner who has done nothing wrong. Two straight wins, blowout victories, pretty similar to what Maymun has done, except he's actually won a stakes race. Both Maymun and Nisos have got to stretch out. That's going to be the next thing. I'm guessing Nisos probably in the Robert B. Lewis. We'll see him in a couple of weeks, and we'll see what happens there. But Nisos at number 2. And again, will he have a new trainer on Monday of next week? Tune in and find out. Number 1, Fierceness for me again. And again, his race in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile, if he runs that, they're still, even though I'm really impressed by some of these horses right now, they still got to kind of rise up to his level. Now, a lot of the horses we're talking about are lightly raced, and they can still get there for sure. But at this moment, they haven't shown that kind of brilliance, or, maybe brilliance is too strong of a word, but haven't shown that high cruising speed, that talent level that Fierceness has in his 2 wins. So Fierceness number 1 for me again, another week. It's kind of the boring thing. But again, like I said, this coming Saturday, we've got the Pegasus and everything that goes with that and nothing else. And then the next week, we've got 4 preps. Fierceness will be in one of those 4 preps at the Holy Bull. So there's going to be a lot to talk about next week, not so much this week. All right, guys. Like I said, no preps this week. We'll kind of keep an eye for maidens. Look, we had a couple of great maidens this week, or last week, I should say. Maybe we'll see a couple this week as well. All right, that'll do it for our Kentucky Derby update. Thanks, everybody, for watching the video. Hit the like button if you like it, and subscribe if you really like it. Want to get alerted anytime we do videos like this. And most importantly, we'll see you back next week.